On August 12th, 2013, Tiffany Daniels left her job at 4:43 p.m. She asked to leave a little early and that she was going to be gone for a few days, and she's never been seen since. Hello, I'm Sean, and if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. If you are returning, then welcome back. Twice a week, I research true crimes that I find interesting to tell you about them. I want to make sure that the victim is remembered, and there's a lot of victims to remember out there. If you're not subscribed, please do so. It is free. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I try to respond to all of my comments. That being said, those of you that decide to put a rude comment about me, my appearance, or anything, I will automatically ban. Um, there's no room in that. The world is a tough enough place, and this is a safe spot. So people that are going to insult other comments or myself or other subscribers, you will get banned from the channel. I'm sorry, but it's my channel. If you want to kindly support me, I do have Patreon, and the link is in the description. If you have any ideas of future true crimes, please feel free to leave me a message. I have done many that people have suggested, and I have a couple coming up soon that are ones that you guys have suggested. So, well, all that being said, on with today's true crime. Tiffany Heaven Daniels was born March 11th, 1988 in Dallas, Texas. She was described as a free spirit. She had an interest in art and enjoyed painting. She had an outgoing personality, and she could liven up the mood of any room that she was present in. She eventually took a job at State College in Pensacola, Florida, in the theater where she painted sets. I didn't realize that was a job. I know when I was in college and we did plays, we painted our sets ourselves. So that's kind of neat that they have people that are hired just to do this stuff. She enjoyed the culture and attractions in Pensacola. She would attend blues and swing parties, and she just was a very outgoing young lady. She lived a short distance from the Bob Sykes Bridge, where she would go hiking and biking in the dunes. She was a pescatarian, a person that only mainly eats fish or seafood. She had also some tattoos on her feet, so that was a distinguishing mark. Tiffany seemed satisfied with her life, but had some serious financial problems. Her parents stated that in the summer of 2013, she had a pattern of paying the rent for her housemates. Uh, they were sometimes unable to pay or unwilling to do so, so she was paying their share too. This started hurting her bank account. In July, she advertised on Craigslist for a new roommate, and Gary Nichols, a 54-year-old father of one of her friends, answered the ad. He was going through a separation and wanted to be closer to his job. Her parents were uneasy that a man twice her age was going to be living with her, but he was able to pay the bills. He also shared interests like biking and had a similar diet. On August 11th, Tiffany started her day with a breakfast for her boyfriend. He had been accepted at the University of Texas, and this was his last day there with her. He wanted her to move too, but she was very reluctant to doing so. So after that, he left, and Gary said that she was kind of depressed the rest of the day. So that evening, they decided to watch a Monty Python's movie. At 5 a.m. on the 12th, he heard the door open and close several times, and he looked out the window but didn't see her. When he got up and left for work at 7 a.m., her car was gone. It was a 1999 Toyota 4Runner. He assumes that she left for work early. Her parents, on the other hand, said that this was very unusual for her to get up that early. Usually she is just chasing the clock, trying to get someplace, and usually at the last second. So this was really odd for her. But Tiffany did arrive at her job at the scheduled time for painting sets. She asked her supervisor if she could leave early. She also told him that she needed to take some time off, possibly the rest of the week. She said that she had a lot of things that she needed to take care of, but wouldn't go into any other detail. He told her that was fine, and she punched out at 4:43 and left the theater. No one has ever seen her since. That night, Gary was concerned when she did not return home by 10 p.m. She did not return his calls either. He called his daughter Noelle, who said that Tiffany might have wanted to hang out with her friends, her own age, and not to worry about it. He agreed that was a possibility and went to bed. The next morning, he again called Tiffany with no response. That evening, when he got home from work, he found that the electricity in the house had been turned off. He assumed that they had forgotten to pay the bills for it. He called his daughter again and told her, and she said, "Why don't you try to get a hold of Tiffany's parents?" Or that she would, actually. Noelle and Tiffany's mom, Cindy, started to work through Tiffany's friends list that they knew of, trying to see if any of them had seen Tiffany. Those friends would suggest other friends that were already on the list, but normally Cindy and Noelle had already contacted the majority of them. By the end of the week, they decided it was time to contact the police to report her missing. Cindy went to the Escambia County sheriffs, who seemed to dismiss the case. They believed that she went out partying and would eventually turn up. But one of the deputies suggested that maybe they might want to go to the Pensacola Police Department. They did that, and they were more interested in the case. Detective Daniel Harnett met with Cindy at Tiffany's house. They searched it and found no signs of foul play. Tiffany's tent was there in the room, and they ruled out that she went camping. But when the detective found out that her boyfriend had left for college the day before she went missing, he wanted to explore that angle. The boyfriend was cooperative and provided fingerprints and DNA. His cell phone records showed that he had been to Austin all week and had never secretly returned to Pensacola. The detectives found that she had planned a trip to Austin later on, and that she also planned a dance to be held 2 weeks later. And he said that it didn't seem like she wanted to possibly end her life or start in a new life elsewhere, because she already had these plans set. The detective found that prior to her disappearance, she had returned home briefly. This was right after she left work. How he came to this understanding, I don't know, because Gary was on the phone with his girlfriend and did not notice her coming home. Cindy was skeptical that he would have missed that she came home for a moment, since Gary stated that he heard that front door open and close multiple times in the morning. But now he heard nothing? That was kind of suspicious. But the police believed his account and that he did not engage in any wrongdoings. They also noted that he was the first person to raise any concern that she was missing. So that's the reason they didn't suspect him for anything, because, why would you do something to her and then start contacting people hours later going, oh, I can't find her now. Makes no sense. Over the weekend, the case was publicized and the media reported on it. Her friends and family distributed flyers on the street. They even posted them everywhere. On August 20th, 8 days after she disappeared, a jogger spotted Tiffany's car. Coincidentally, this jogger was a friend of Tiffany, so she knew the car. The car was parked in a parking lot at Park West in Pensacola Beach near Fort Pickens. That's a lot of P's. It was the western end of Santa Rosa Island. Now, Tiffany had often gone hiking in the dunes near the Gulf Island National Seashore. Cindy had told her not to go to the beach alone. Cindy just feared that, since her car was discovered there, something terrible might have actually happened to her and she would have gone to the beach alone and somebody did something. In the car were Tiffany's bike, her cell phone, her purse, with her wallet, some clothing, paintings, a jug of water, and a jar of peanut butter. The car was towed to the police station and they discovered 2 fingerprints, one on the door handle and one on the steering wheel. They could not be matched to Tiffany's, nor did they match any of the officers working on the vehicles or anyone else involved in the case, like Gary or Cindy or anyone like that. A resident in a nearby condominium stated that the car was definitely not there until 2 days prior to it being found. 2 other residents stated that they had seen a man getting out of the car earlier in the day that it was found. So a lot of different evidence there. Couldn't think of the word, sorry. Police watched security camera footage of the toll booth on Bob Sykes Bridge, and there was only one connection between Pensacola and the island. It's a really long island, and there is one connection, and then it's just a bunch of dunes, no roads or anything like that. And then way on the other side of the island, there's another connection, but from what I can tell from looking at it, there is no way to drive that way. They showed that the vehicle passed the toll at around 7:50 p.m. the night that she went disappearing, but they couldn't determine who was driving it. There are 2 large residential complexes that could have potential witnesses, but they found no leads. An investigator found sand on the bike, but none on the floorboards of her vehicle. They figured that maybe she went for a bike ride in the beach. That evening was supposed to have a meteor shower, and her friend said that might have been something she would have gone and watched. If she had, it's possible that she might have went swimming to watch it and might have drowned, but no body had been found on the beach. The detective felt that she might have had an accident or foul play somewhere on the island. But like I said, Santa Rosa is like a 50-mile long island, and they didn't have the manpower to search all of the beaches, dunes, and thick vegetative area. But a volunteer organization called the Class Kids, I hope I pronounced that name right, the Class Kids coordinated with the local police and National Park Services to search much of the island with humans and search dogs. Some clothing was found and some jewelries were found, but none of them belonged to Tiffany. After all the searching and investigations, the family and friends set up a Facebook page for Tiffany, hoping to get some new leads. And they got a ton of tips from people. One that they felt like was one of the most significant ones was from a store clerk who claimed to have seen her a few days after she had been last seen. The store clerk recalled that the tattoos on her feet. Unfortunately, the store security camera did not corroborate her statement. So they're back to the drawing board. Another post came January of 2014 from a woman who worked as a waitress outside of New Orleans. She stated that she saw Tiffany soon after she disappeared. She saw a woman matching her description come into the store, and she was with two other women. One of the women were around her age, while the other one was older, possibly Latina. She also said that the older one dressed very nice opposed to the younger two. She said the younger woman acted very odd and never really looked her in the eyes, and they were both wearing long sleeve, even though it was pretty warm weather, and that they had the cuffs pulled over their hands, hiding their hands. They also let the older woman do pretty much all the talking for them. The waitress said that she did mention to the younger woman that she looked like a woman that went missing in Florida. And with that, the group got up and left. The security camera had been taped over since it had been such a long time between when it happened and when they reported it. So they could not check this for the truth or not. So the waitress's story is not confirmed, but Tiffany's parents really believed that this was her, and they had two reasons for it. One was that Tiffany would frequently pull her sleeves over her hands when she was cold. Secondly, the waitress mentioned that the one she thought was Tiffany asked if the soup used fish or chicken broth. Cindy remembered one time that she went out to eat with Tiffany and that she asked them to substitute the chicken broth for fish broth, since she tried to avoid non-fish foods. The family started to fear that Tiffany had been taken for human trafficking. Granted, most of the time they want them to be late teens, mid to late teens for human trafficking, but there were exceptions that they'd take them in their 20s and things like that too. This would explain why they left the restaurant so quickly. Interstate 10, which passes through Pensacola and New Orleans, is said to be a major trafficking route in the United States. Detective Harnett said that he found no evidence of trafficking, but they haven't ruled it out, and they haven't at this point. In 2015, a person came forward stating that they saw a man in his 30s wearing red shorts and no shirt open the car's tailgate when it was parked in the parking lot that it was found at. Nothing else came out of this. Around the 10th anniversary, a mural depicting Tiffany was painted on the Pensacola Graffiti Bridge, trying to call attention to the case. For now, the case is unsolved. She is still missing. If you know anything, come forward. Call 850-436-9630. Tiffany, if you're still out there and you're hearing this, your family misses you dearly. They want to hear from you. Reach out. I don't know, it's just a sad situation when somebody goes missing and the family just wants some closure, wants to know. I mean, even if she got sick of her family and just wanted to run away, at least leave a note saying, hey, I'm leaving, don't come find me, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You know, it's just sad. So, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Love you all. See you next time. Bye.